are now going through the 6 and having a more in-depth study so that you can be able to answer any question that comes on this. Okay, so I'll be as fast as I can. So we said sways. Sways. Okay, so this is what it is. Is this, you know that this is for surveys and questionnaires. You can practice this, okay? You can practice this, believe you me. Then here we said this is for experiments. This is for observational studies. This is for interviews and focus groups, so I and C. Then we say that this other S is going to be for secondary data. Then this is sensors and automated systems. So let's go for surveys and questionnaires. What is it? It is a structured set of questions given to people to gather information from them. That's a proper definition now. A structured set of questions that are given to people or given to respondents. We say that people here, we can say given to respondents, okay, to gather some information from them. Now, examples are going to be one, online Google Forms. This is a type of a survey. This, you just give people questions. So whenever you give people questions and you get data from them, which data collection method are you using? Surveys and questionnaires. Whatever you do when you ask people, just give a form of questions and then they just answer those questions and end there. That's a survey or questionnaire, okay? You're not actually having a conversation like an interview. No. You're just giving them a bunch of questions, they answer, then you collect the information which you need. So face-to-face interviews, not really. Yes, but this you see it more in interviews. So face-to-face interviews, you can ignore it. But customer feedback surveys, online Google Forms, these are examples. Now, advantages, what are the advantages? It is fast. Okay, these surveys are very fast. You don't have to take time. Anyone can go through a form in like 2-3 minutes. The forms usually you can go through them in no time and collect, so they're fast. And they can collect data from many people because you can release a survey online and it can go to the whole world at the same time. So it is fast, number one, and it can receive data collect data from many people. And also it is flexible and customizable because you can be able to change the questions to make them suit what you want to find out on. Then now, what are the disadvantages? Number one, there's a risk of bias or non-response. Bias, maybe you are asking questions in a certain time or whatever, and people tend to just answer to you, follow one another or because of one event that has happened or whatever. There is a risk of bias. You can't or maybe the people that are responding are people that have internet, and maybe the people that don't have internet connection think differently. So you may end up having just one side of the story. Now, anyway, there is a risk also of non-response. And also the quality will depend on the questions that you have in your questionnaire or survey. Now, that is it for this one, and we can go on to the next. What are the advantages? It is fast. It can collect data from many people at the same time. What about the disadvantages? There is bias. There can be bias. And the other disadvantage is that there's a risk of non-response. And also the other disadvantage about having an online survey, we said it is that the quality would depend on the questions that have been designed. Now we go to experiments. So what about experiments? This is a controlled study where a variable is altered, where you change a variable to see their effects. So you change a variable to see the effects of that change, to see the effect of the variable or the effect of the change on the variable. So that is what an experiment is. It is a controlled study where you alter a variable and then you see the effect, you record the data. That's how you get the data, by altering something. Now, examples of these are testing new medicine. You're going to alter something, you're going to put medicine into somebody's bloodstream or whatever thing you're using to test, okay, whatever individual, whatever it is that you're using to test the medicine, you're altering because by putting that medicine inside, it will change the inside. It was not in the first place. So you're altering and then you study to see what happens. And another example is when you change teaching methods and you start studying how each affects grades. So when you change the teaching methods, you are affecting something. You are changing a variable, and then you can start to see the outcome now, how grades will be affected. That type is an experiment. That is the data collection method there. It is an experiment. Now, what are the advantages of this? Is that it helps to establish cause and effect relationships, or it helps to find cause and effect relationships. And these are, since we are studying experiments where you change one thing, then you see what happens to the others. This is a cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect is like you change one thing and then the other thing changes. That's called a cause and effect relationship. It is when one event causes another event to change or happen. When something changes, the other one will change. That's called a cause and effect relationship. So you can be able to find them by this. So it helps to find cause and effect relationships, things that affect each other. Now, disadvantages is that these experiments are expensive and they take time. They're expensive to set up and they take time, and they may not reflect real life scenarios because this is happening under controlled conditions. Now we go to 3, which is observational studies. In observational studies, what are these? Remember, it sways. Remember, it sways. So we are now at observational studies. Observational studies, what is it? It is data collected by observing without interfering. You observe your subjects without interfering. Examples, it is when you observe consumer behavior in stores and you go and monitor wildlife. That's another example. Monitoring wildlife. It's another example of collecting data by observing. Another example, we said going to a store and monitoring or observing how consumers or clients are behaving, or by behaving we mean what they are buying and what they like to buy, how much they like to, all these things, but not like the other one. Advantages of this is it's natural. It's natural. Nothing is going to be changed. You get natural and realistic data, which because there is no interference, you're not changing anything, so you get natural and realistic behavior. Now, disadvantage is observer bias. Okay, observer bias may affect results because what you're doing is you're just looking and observing, then recording. So observer bias may affect results, and you cannot control outside factors. You can't touch because you're not allowed to interfere, so you can't control outside factors, and you cannot find out what caused something to happen. You cannot find out why things happened, so you can't establish causations, what caused it. So that is it about observational studies. Now we can go into and look at the last 3, and these are going to be interviews and focus groups. Interviews and focus groups, what it is when you use interactive methods to have a conversation to gather qualitative data. So this helps you gather qualitative data by using interactive methods to gather detailed information. Interactive, it means when both parties can respond to each other. So you are getting info, you talk, they talk back, you talk. That's an interactive discussion. And it's an interactive method, and that is that falls into interviews and focus groups. Now, these examples are going to be one-on-one discussions, group discussions, face-to-face interviews. These are all examples of times when you have to have these interviews and focus groups. So here the examples of them are these ones. Now, advantages of interviews and focus groups is that they provide detailed information or deep insights, and they allow for answers to be clarified because you find out the reason why. You'll be able to find out the reason why because you're in a dialogue with someone, you're talking to each other. Then disadvantages is that it takes time. Okay, it really, really does take time for you to be able to have an interview. It takes time to set up, and money as well. But interviewer bias can affect results. The interviewer, the person leading the interview, if they are biased, then the results will obviously be affected. Now you can look at the last 2, which is secondary data. I hope you remember these things. Interviewer bias can affect the results in experiments, in interviews and focus groups. Now we come to secondary data collection. What is it? It is when you reuse existing data collected by someone else for a new research. Okay, examples: government allows census data, academic journals, company sales records. These are the other things. Government census data, if you take it and you reuse it for something else, then this is secondary data. Academic journals, if you take the information and reuse it, secondary data. So examples, yes, government census data, academic journals, and company sales records. What are the advantages of secondary data collection? Number 1 is that it saves time. Okay, it saves time and it is cost effective. These are the 2 major advantages of secondary data. And also, large data sets are often available. Large data sets. Disadvantages: limited control over data quality. That is the biggest disadvantage. There is limited control over data quality. Okay, there is very limited control over data quality? Do you know? Because you're not the one who collected it. So you're just reusing it. So yes, data may not perfectly fit in the research. So the data may not perfectly fit in the research. All right, so it saves time and it is cost effective, but data may not perfectly fit that research that you're doing. Anyway, now we go to sensors and automated systems. What are these? This is when you use technology to automatically or continuously collect data in real time. Okay, and examples are weather stations, fitness trackers. These are other examples of things that can collect data automatically. Okay, so that's these sensors, because you can have a heart rate counter, so it can be checking your heartbeat rate and then checking if you're fine, and then your step counter as well. It's a type of a fitness tracker. And traffic camera is another type of a sensor or automated system of data collection, when you're using a computer to collect your data for you. And the advantages is that this will be accurate and continuous data will be collected. So you can collect accurate and continuous data, but the disadvantage is it's expensive to set up, and tech failures can disadvantages that tech failures can reuse the missing data. So this is can cause missing data. Sorry, I was surprised. Yes, it can cause missing data. So here's the last one. And this would be everything for your disadvantages. We say that it is a very expensive thing to set up. What else is expensive to set up? An experiment, okay? An experiment is something else which is going to be expensive to set up, which we've just talked about as well, for it being expensive to set up. And also the other thing which you can have as expensive to set up is an interview. Interviews are also expensive to set up. So things that are expensive to set up and time consuming are sensors and automated systems. They are expensive and time consuming in setup. Interviews is time consuming as well, and experiments. So anyway, that is it. This is everything. Goodbye for now.